Ladies and gentlemen, imagine this. You've just hit a major roadblock. You've worked tirelessly, poured your heart into a project, and yet you find yourself facing failure. It feels like everything is falling apart and doubt creeps in. But what if I told you that this very moment of setback is actually the setup for your greatest success? What if every obstacle, every rejection, every challenge you face is laying the groundwork for something even greater than you can imagine? Steve Harvey's life is a living example of how setbacks aren't the end, they are the beginning of something bigger, better, and more impactful. In this speech, I'm going to show you how you can take those moments of defeat and turn them into the fuel that propels you toward your ultimate success. If you've ever felt like giving up, this is the message you need to hear. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll see that your setbacks are the very things that will set you up for greatness. The first step in transforming setbacks into setups for success is shifting your perspective. Often, when people face challenges or obstacles, they immediately interpret them as failures, as something standing in the way of their dreams. This mindset can lead to frustration, self-doubt, and even the belief that success is unattainable. However, the key to turning setbacks into setups is to change the way you view them. Instead of seeing setbacks as roadblocks, start viewing them as opportunities for growth, learning, and improvement. Steve Harvey's journey is a powerful illustration of this shift in perspective. Early in his career, Harvey faced numerous challenges. He was homeless for a time, struggling to find work and get his foot in the door in the entertainment industry. At one point, he was living out of his car, uncertain of where his next meal would come from. But instead of allowing these setbacks to define him, Harvey chose to see them as stepping stones. He didn't view his struggles as signs that he was destined for failure. Instead, he saw them as lessons, opportunities to develop resilience, patience, and a deeper understanding of his own purpose. This change in perspective is not always easy, but it's essential if you want to move forward. When you view setbacks as temporary obstacles rather than permanent failures, you give yourself the space to learn and grow. Each challenge you face provides valuable lessons that can prepare you for future success. For example, Harvey often speaks about how his early struggles in comedy and entertainment taught him the importance of persevering. The countless rejections he faced were not indications that he wasn't good enough. They were signs that he needed to keep honing his craft and refining his approach. The power of perspective also lies in the ability to reframe failure. Instead of seeing failure as something to be feared or avoided, Harvey teaches us to see it as a natural part of the journey. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. It's through failure that we learn what doesn't work, and more importantly, we learn what does. Every setback you encounter is an opportunity to pivot, adapt, and come back stronger. When you embrace failure as a stepping stone, it no longer holds power over you. Instead, it becomes a valuable tool for growth. Shifting your perspective also allows you to stay focused on the bigger picture. It's easy to get caught up in the moment and feel overwhelmed by the challenges you face. But when you step back and view your setbacks as part of a larger journey, you begin to understand that they are not defining moments. They are simply chapters in your story. Each setback, no matter how difficult it may seem, is contributing to your overall growth and success. By changing the way you view setbacks, you give yourself the power to keep moving forward with purpose and determination. Ultimately, transforming setbacks into setups begins with a shift in mindset. When you choose to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles, you open yourself up to the possibility of growth, learning, and success. Harvey's story teaches us that setbacks are not the end of the road, they are simply part of the process. With the right perspective, every setback becomes a setup for something greater. Resilience is one of the most important qualities you can cultivate when it comes to turning setbacks into setups for success. Setbacks are an inevitable part of life, and how you respond to them can make all the difference in your journey. Steve Harvey's story is a powerful example of resilience in action. Throughout his career, he faced countless challenges, financial struggles, rejection from networks, and even personal hardship. Yet, time and time again, he demonstrated the incredible power of resilience. Instead of allowing these obstacles to break him, he used them to fuel his determination and drive to succeed. His ability to bounce back after each setback is a key reason for his eventual success. Resilience is not just about enduring difficult times. It's about coming back stronger and more determined. When you face a setback, it's natural to feel discouraged or defeated, but resilience means that you don't let those feelings define you. Instead of giving up, you find a way to keep going, learning from the experience and using it to propel yourself forward. Harvey's journey is filled with moments when it would have been easy to quit. He faced rejection after rejection, and at one point he even lost everything. But each time he failed, he got back up. His resilience allowed him to learn from his failures and apply those lessons to future endeavors. One of the most powerful aspects of resilience is the ability to maintain a positive outlook in the face of adversity. It's easy to become consumed by negativity when things aren't going well, but resilient individuals like Harvey have the ability to stay focused on their goals, even when the path seems unclear. Resilience isn't about pretending that everything is okay. It's about acknowledging the challenges and still choosing to move forward. It's about understanding that setbacks are temporary and that your ability to rise above them is what truly matters. Harvey often talks about how his faith and belief in himself were key to his resilience. He knew setbacks were a natural part of the journey and that resilience also involves learning to adapt. When faced with a setback, it's important to assess the situation and figure out what changes need to be made in order to move forward. Harvey's resilience was not just about pushing through adversity. It was also about being willing to pivot when necessary. He didn't cling to the same approach if it wasn't working. He adjusted, adapted, and found new ways to reach his goal. This ability to adapt is crucial because in many cases, setbacks are signals that it's time to change direction. Resilience doesn't mean sticking to the same plan despite failure. It means being flexible enough to adjust your approach while keeping your eyes on the ultimate prize. Another key aspect of resilience is the ability to find meaning in your struggles. Instead of viewing setbacks as random or unfair, resilient people understand that every challenge has a purpose. For Harvey, every failure and rejection was a lesson that helped him grow and improve. He used each setback as an opportunity to become better, more skilled, and more prepared for the next stage of his journey. This mindset is what separates those who give up from those who ultimately succeed. By finding meaning in your setbacks, you can transform them into valuable lessons that set you up for future success. Ultimately, resilience is about refusing to let setbacks define you. It's about maintaining your focus, adapting to challenges, and using each obstacle as an opportunity to grow. Steve Harvey's story teaches us that setbacks are not the end. They are simply opportunities to build the resilience that will carry you to your goals. Resilience allows you to turn every setback into a setup for success. And it's the key to overcoming the inevitable challenges that life will throw your way. Growth through adversity is a concept that often seems counterintuitive. We tend to view difficult times as something to avoid, something that takes away from our happiness and success. However, the truth is that it is through adversity that we often experience the most significant growth. Steve Harvey's journey is a perfect example of how setbacks can be the very catalyst for personal and professional development. Every hardship he faced, from homelessness to countless rejections in his career, became an opportunity for him to learn, evolve, and improve. Each failure was not an end, but a lesson that shaped him into the person he is today. Adversity forces us to confront our weaknesses and challenges us to step outside our comfort zones. It's easy to grow when things are going well, but true growth comes from navigating through difficult situations. When you face adversity, you are pushed to develop new skills, think creatively, and adopt new strategies. Harvey's story illustrates this beautifully. He didn't just endure the struggles he faced, he learned from them. He took each failure as a lesson in resilience, patience, and persistence. For instance, his early years in comedy were filled with rejection and ridicule, but instead of allowing those experiences to define him, he used them to refine his craft. He didn't just work harder, he worked smarter, taking the lessons from each setback and applying them to his next attempt. The key to growth through adversity is the ability to reframe the situation. When things go wrong, it's easy to fall into a negative mindset and view the setback as a personal failure. But Harvey teaches us that adversity isn't something to fear or avoid, it's something to embrace. Each setback is an opportunity to become better, stronger, and more capable. By reframing adversity as a chance for growth, you shift your mindset from one of defeat to one of empowerment. You begin to see every challenge as a stepping stone, each one taking you closer to your ultimate goal. Adversity also builds character. It teaches us humility, patience, and perseverance. When you face setbacks, you are forced to dig deep within yourself and find the strength to keep going. Harvey's story is filled with moments when he could have easily given up, but his character kept him moving forward. It was his belief in himself and his purpose that allowed him to push through the toughest times. Character is built in the moments when things aren't going well. And it's in these moments that we truly discover who we are and what we are capable of. Harvey's character was forged through his experiences with adversity. And it is this same character that allowed him to achieve his success. In addition to building character, adversity also helps us develop resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from failure and keep moving forward, and it is one of the most valuable traits you can possess. Harvey's resilience was key to his success. Each time he faced a setback, he didn't let it define him or stop him from pursuing his dreams. Instead, he learned from it and kept going. This resilience was a direct result of the growth he experienced through adversity. The more he faced, the stronger he became, and the more equipped he was to handle future challenges. Growth through adversity also teaches us the importance of perseverance. Success is rarely achieved without setbacks, and it is perseverance that ultimately leads to success. Harvey's perseverance was evident in his refusal to give up. Even when the odds were stacked against him, he understood that setbacks were a natural part of the journey and that success wasn't about avoiding them, but about pushing through them. His ability to persevere through adversity allowed him to turn every setback into a setup for success. Ultimately, growth through adversity is about perspective. It's about seeing challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for development. Steve Harvey's story teaches us that adversity is not something to fear or avoid. It is an essential part of the journey. By embracing adversity and using it as a tool for growth, we can transform setbacks to setups for success. Each challenge we face is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become the best version of ourselves. Patience is often seen as a virtue, but when it comes to achieving success, it's much more than that. It's a necessity. The road to success is rarely quick or straightforward. It's filled with challenges, setbacks, and detours that require not only resilience and determination, but also a deep sense of patience. Steve Harvey's journey to success is a testament to the power of patience. He didn't achieve his dreams overnight. In fact, his path to success was long and filled with obstacles. But through it all, he learned that success requires time, persistence, and the ability to wait for the right moment. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get discouraged when things don't happen as quickly as we'd like. We live in an era of instant gratification where we expect things to happen immediately, whether it's success, recognition, or financial rewards. But Harvey's story shows us that success is not something that happens overnight. It's a journey that requires time, effort, and a willingness to endure the long periods of uncertainty and struggle. Harvey spent years working in small clubs, facing rejection after rejection before he finally got his big break. He didn't give up when success didn't come right away. He kept going, knowing that the work he was putting in would eventually pay off. Patience also teaches us the value of timing. Sometimes setbacks are simply a result of not being ready for the opportunities that lie ahead. Harvey's early career was filled with moments where he wasn't yet prepared for the level of success he was striving for. He had to learn, grow, and refine his skills before he could fully step into his purpose. Success, Harvey teaches us, is not just about hard work. It's about working at the right time and in the right way. Patience allows us to wait for the right opportunities and the right moment to strike. When we rush things, we risk missing the opportunities that will lead to lasting success. Moreover, patience allows us to stay focused on the bigger picture. When setbacks occur, it's easy to become consumed by frustration and doubt. But when you have patience, you can keep your eyes on the long-term goal. Harvey often speaks about how he kept his focus on the bigger vision, even when things weren't going well. He understood that every setback, every rejection, and every failure was a part of the process. He didn't let the temporary struggles cloud his vision of the future. Patience helped him stay grounded, reminding him that the journey was just as important as the destination. Success is also about learning to trust the process. There will be times when it feels like nothing is happening, when progress seems slow or non-existent. But patience teaches us to trust that the work we're doing is leading us somewhere. Harvey's story is filled with moments when he had to trust that his efforts would eventually pay off, even when the results weren't immediate. This trust in the process is what allows us to keep going even when the road seems uncertain. Patience helps us believe that, even in the face of setbacks, our efforts are not in vain. Another important aspect of patience is its ability to build resilience. When we are patient, we learn to handle the ups and downs of life with grace. We understand that not everything will go according to plan, but that doesn't mean we should give up. Patience teaches us to endure, to keep going even when it feels like we're not making progress. It helps us develop the inner strength needed to overcome obstacles and keep moving forward. Harvey's perseverance through difficult times is a direct result of the patience he cultivated over the years. Ultimately, patience is a key component of turning setbacks into setups for success. It's the ability to keep going even when the path seems unclear and to trust that success will come in its own time. Harvey's journey shows us that patience is not about waiting idly. It's about working, learning, and growing while trusting that the right moment will come. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. And those who are patient enough to endure the challenges will be the ones who ultimately reach their goals. Patience, then, is not just about waiting. It's about staying committed, focused, and determined, knowing that every step forward is bringing you closer to the success you deserve. The power of belief in oneself cannot be overstated when it comes to achieving success. It's the foundation on which everything else is built. Without belief in your own potential, setbacks can feel insurmountable and obstacles can seem like roadblocks too high to overcome. Steve Harvey's journey is a shining example of how belief in yourself can turn dreams into reality, even when the odds seem stacked against you. Harvey's story is filled with moments when others doubted him, when the world seemed to turn its back on him, yet he never lost faith in his abilities. His belief in himself, his talent, and his purpose is what ultimately propelled him to success. Believing in yourself is not about being arrogant or thinking you're better than others. It's about understanding your worth and having the confidence to pursue your goals, no matter how difficult the path may seem. Harvey often speaks about how, even during his darkest moments, he held on to the belief that he was destined for greatness. When he was homeless, living out of his car, and struggling to make ends meet, he didn't allow those circumstances to define him. He believed that his situation was temporary and that his breakthrough was coming. This unwavering belief in himself kept him going, even when there was no immediate sign of success on the horizon. Belief in yourself is also about trusting your instincts and your abilities, even when others may not see your potential. Many times in Harvey's career, he faced rejection from networks and producers who didn't believe in him. But instead of giving up, he used those rejections as fuel to prove that they were wrong. He knew that he had something unique to offer, and he refused to let the opinions of others dictate his future. His belief in himself allowed him to keep pushing forward even when the world seemed to say no. This is the power of self-belief. It enables you to keep moving forward even when the external world isn't supportive. Self-belief also plays a crucial role in resilience. When you believe in yourself, you are less likely to be defeated by setbacks. Harvey's journey was filled with challenges, but because he believed in his own potential, he was able to bounce back from failure time and time again. Each setback was seen not as a reflection of his abilities, but as a part of the process. This belief in his own worth helped him remain resilient, knowing that failure was simply a stepping stone to success. When you have faith in yourself, you understand that setbacks don't define you. They are merely temporary challenges that you can overcome. Belief in yourself also empowers you to take risks, Success often requires stepping outside your comfort zone, trying new things, and facing the unknown. Harvey's story is filled with moments when he had to take risks, whether it was quitting his job to pursue comedy full-time or taking on a new role in television. These risks were only possible because of his belief in himself. He trusted that no matter what happened, he had the ability to handle whatever came his way. This self-confidence allowed him to take the necessary steps to achieve his goals, even when the outcome was uncertain. One of the most powerful aspects of self-belief is that it creates a positive feedback loop. The more you believe in yourself, the more likely you are to take action toward your goals. And the more action you take, the more success you experience, which in turn strengthens your belief in yourself. Harvey's belief in his own potential didn't just help him achieve his dreams, it helped him sustain his success once he reached it. His confidence in his abilities has been a key factor in his continued success, allowing him to expand his career into new areas and continue to inspire others. Ultimately, the power of belief in yourself is what enables you to turn setbacks into setups for success. When you believe in your own abilities, setbacks no longer feel like failures. They feel like lessons and opportunities for growth. Harvey's story teaches us that belief in yourself is not just a nice idea, it's a crucial component of success. It's the force that drives you to keep going when things get tough. The strength that allows you to take risks and pursue your dreams, and the foundation that keeps you grounded when success comes your way. Belief in yourself is the key to unlocking your full potential and achieving the success you've always dreamed of. Embracing failure as a part of the journey is a crucial lesson for anyone who seeks long-term success. Too often, people view failure as something to avoid, something that should be feared. However, in reality, failure is an essential component of growth and progress. Steve Harvey's story is a powerful example of how failure, rather than being a roadblock, can be a stepping stone to success. He faced numerous failures throughout his career, from being rejected by major networks to losing everything at one point, yet each failure served as a lesson that ultimately propelled him forward. Harvey teaches us that failure is not the end, it's simply part of the process. The first step in embracing failure is understanding that it's a natural part of life. Everyone experiences setbacks, and no one is immune to failure. Success is not about avoiding failure, it's about learning to navigate through it and using it to fuel your growth. Harvey's failures were not signs of weakness or inadequacy. They were opportunities for him to learn, adapt, and improve. Each time he failed, he didn't let it stop him. Instead, he used it as a learning experience. Failure taught him what didn't work, allowing him to refine his approach and get closer to his goal. Embracing failure also means reframing it in a positive light. Instead of seeing failure as something negative, you begin to view it as a necessary part of the journey. Harvey often talks about how his failures helped him develop resilience, patience, and perseverance. Without those failures, he wouldn't have learned the lessons that made him successful. Failure forces you to confront your weaknesses and challenges you to grow. It teaches you that success is not handed to you on a silver platter. It is earned through hard work, persistence, and the willingness to fail and try again. Harvey's ability to embrace failure allowed him to keep going, even when things seemed bleak. Another important aspect of embracing failure is the ability to detach your identity from your failures. Too often, people make the mistake of internalizing failure, believing that it reflects their worth or abilities. But Harvey teaches us that failure is simply an event, not a definition of who you are. When you fail, it doesn't mean you are a failure. It means you tried something that didn't work, and now you have the opportunity to try again with more knowledge and experience. Harvey's journey is a testament to this mindset. He didn't let his failures define him. He understood that each setback was just one chapter in a much larger story. His ability to separate his identity from his failures allowed him to maintain his self-belief and keep moving forward. Failure also helps you develop a growth mindset. People who embrace failure are more likely to adopt a mindset that focuses on learning and improvement. Instead of seeing failure as something to be avoided, they see it as an opportunity to grow. Harvey's story is filled with examples of how he learned from his failures, and every rejection, every failure was a chance for him to get better, to refine his skills, and to approach his goals with more knowledge and insight. This growth mindset is essential for long-term success because it allows you to keep evolving and adapting to the challenges you face. Furthermore, embracing failure teaches you the value of persistence. Success is rarely achieved without encountering setbacks along the way. Harvey's career is a perfect example of how persistence can turn failure into success. He faced countless rejections, but he never gave up. Each failure made him more determined to succeed. He didn't let failure stop him. Instead, he kept going, knowing that each failure brought him one step closer to his ultimate goal. Ultimately, embracing failure as a part of the journey is about shifting your perspective. Failure is not something to be feared or avoided. It is something to be learned from and used to fuel your growth. Steve Harvey's story teaches us that failure is an inevitable part of the path to success. It's not the failure itself that matters, but how you respond to it. If you allow failure to defeat you, it will. But if you embrace it, learn from it, and use it to fuel your persistence, you will find success. Failure is not the end of the road. It's just a detour on the way to achieving your dreams.